Chosen one, this Thursday is not a normal start. It's time. Something sacred has been whispered into the atmosphere. Something deep is moving beneath the surface of your reality, and whether you feel it or not, it is shifting everything. This Thursday is not a regular beginning. This isn't just another page in your story. It is the unveiling of a divine scene, long prepared, long protected, and now released. What is about to happen is not random. It is not casual. It is not to be overlooked. God has orchestrated this moment with intentionality. You're not starting from the ground. You're beginning from grace, from the unseen momentum that's been gathering, from the quiet approvals heaven has given behind closed doors. You're starting from alignment, from authority, from God's confirmation. Watch this video until the very end, and write your warmest wishes in the comments and write Amen along with the number 99. Your words have power. Your intentions matter. Your wishes carry weight in the divine realm, and when spoken in unity, they shape what enters next. Now, chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. There's a strange stillness that comes before a significant wave. You've been in that stillness, that waiting, that moment that seems to repeat itself until you almost lose the meaning of time. But this Thursday, it won't just be a date on a calendar. It will be a door, one that God has reserved, marked, and timed with precision. The patterns you've known are not returning. The cycles that kept you in delay are being severed. The chains that tried to keep your name out of the room are falling without ceremony. It's not loud, it's not obvious, but it is effective. God is sending something that can only move on a day like this, a day that is hidden to the world but revealed to the chosen. A day that looks like any other yet carries the seal of divine urgency. This Thursday is different not because of what the world will see, but because of what heaven has already declared. It is the day of internal awakening. It is the day when your awareness sharpens and your positioning becomes evident. It's the day when you walk into what already has your name on it. You've been seeing signs, repeating numbers, delayed calls, conversations that go nowhere, people exiting without explanation, ideas waking you in the middle of the night. That wasn't your imagination, that was preparation. The kind that isn't announced but executed. God wasn't delaying you. He was setting the stage so that the first step you take on this day wouldn't just be a step. It would be an activation. On this Thursday, the wind is different. Your thoughts will carry more clarity. Your heart will feel a release from a weight you couldn't name. The atmosphere will seem lighter, and that's not because of random chance. It's because a spiritual shift is landing. You'll feel like something left you, something that held you back, something that fought against your peace. God is doing silent work that will result in loud blessings, the kind that nobody will be able to deny, the kind that even your enemies will have to acknowledge. You've come to a moment that can't be explained with logic. That can't be backed by statistics. That won't match what your bank account says or what your background shows. But it will match your calling, your destiny, your divine contract with the unseen. This Thursday is the kind of beginning that only happens when everything aligns. Spirit, mind, moment, and mission. This is that moment. Some will underestimate this day because it won't look like a storm. It won't look like a dramatic entrance. But it will be a complete turn, a complete unlocking. And the beauty of this moment is that it was not built by man. It was designed by God. The story was written before you questioned your worth, before you doubted your power, before you feared your path, and now it's unfolding. This is why certain relationships fell off. This is why doors slammed. This is why your plans seemed to fail, because it wasn't about you being denied. It was about you being redirected into this divine Thursday moment. God doesn't waste movement. Everything that felt like a loss was building this exact beginning. This moment of access, this moment of undeniable favor. Even the silence you endured had a purpose. Even the isolation had a reason. Because this Thursday requires clarity. It requires your spirit to be light. It requires your heart to be open. God is not sending clutter. God is not repeating what failed. He is sending a precision that can only be received when you're no longer confused by noise. This Thursday is not about effort. It's about alignment. Not hustle, but harmony. Not manipulation, but manifestation. There are things you used to chase that are about to chase you. Not because you changed the formula, but because the formula has finally reached its activation time, and that time is now. You'll notice that some of your thoughts feel different. Some of your instincts feel sharper. That's not anxiety. That's not restlessness. That's prophetic alignment. Your spirit is responding to a frequency only the chosen can hear. Your inner world is preparing for a delivery that doesn't have a tracking number, but has heaven's guarantee. And this delivery is time sensitive. It cannot be delayed again. It cannot be interfered with. It cannot be sabotaged because God Himself has secured it. There are things that were once blocked that are now flowing, not because the blockage was removed by force, but because it was never meant to stop you in the first place. It was only meant to prepare your timing. This Thursday, you will no longer feel disconnected. You will no longer wonder why nothing seems to work out. You'll know, you'll sense. You'll move differently. And you won't have to explain it to anyone because God is doing the explaining with results. Chosen one. The reason this Thursday feels different is because you've been transformed. And transformation has a time. You've outgrown what once fit. You've surpassed what once sustained you. Now your divine self is demanding an environment that matches its vibration. And that environment starts to appear this Thursday. One step at a time, one confirmation after another, one unexpected encounter after another. Your name has been whispered into places you've never stepped. Your essence has been prepared to carry assignments you haven't seen yet. And your spirit is being strengthened for movements that will feel unfamiliar but divinely right. This Thursday, you'll feel it. The lifting, the release, the certainty, the deep internal knowing that this is it. That God is saying now. And when God says now, no gate can remain locked. No system can ignore you. No delay can win. This is not just a week, it is a window. And inside that window is a miracle that knows your address. One that doesn't need validation, one that doesn't require evidence. It just needs you to be aware enough to receive it. And you are. You're ready. You've endured. You've cried. You've questioned. You've waited. You've grown. You've surrendered. And now you are chosen to walk into the fulfillment. This Thursday is not a repeat. It is a reset. And this reset was always on the schedule of heaven. Now it's appearing in your world. Watch what happens next. The shift that this Thursday begins isn't one that fades by Friday. It's not a momentary feeling or an emotional high. It's not spiritual hype. What begins now has momentum. It has roots. It's been planted in the unseen for years, protected from sabotage, delayed for preparation, and covered in silence. But once God speaks go, nothing can reverse it. You've stepped into an unshakable zone, chosen one. And what's happening now is irreversible. The realm of the invisible has always moved before the visible response. What felt like emptiness was actually sacred instruction. When nothing seemed to happen, everything was actually aligning. This is why things didn't make sense, because you were being called to trust before sight. And now what you sensed in your spirit, what kept echoing inside of you without proof, is beginning to form in your physical world. It's not imagination, it's manifestation. You'll begin to notice small confirmations, a random message, a perfectly timed call, a conversation that unlocks something in you. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. They are God's way of reminding you that you are synchronized with a higher plan, that you are no longer trying to force doors open. They are being opened for you. And the doors that are opening now are not random. They are assigned. They were custom made for you and for this very Thursday. You've already seen glimpses, but glimpses weren't enough for where you're going. Now comes the encounter, the full picture, the moment where everything you suspected is validated by God's movement. This is the beginning of evidence. And with evidence comes expansion. Expansion isn't always loud. It starts internally. You'll feel peace in situations that used to trigger fear. You'll respond with calm where you used to panic. You'll feel strength in places you once felt small. This is what divine expansion feels like. It's not a show, it's a shift. And that shift is being felt by those who underestimated you. There are people who thought you'd stay stuck, people who counted you out, people who tried to rewrite your story, but they forgot one detail. God writes the final version, and in this version, you rise. In this version, you win. In this version, the Thursday that seemed so ordinary becomes legendary. Your presence is about to carry a new weight, not because of a title, not because of wealth, but because of what's now living inside you. Divine clarity. That clarity will guide your next steps. It will unlock doors you didn't know existed, and it will close the ones that led to repeated pain. You will not walk into the same traps anymore. You will not cycle through the same emotional loops. This Thursday has changed the equation. It has pulled you out of the pattern and placed you in divine positioning. Now, even your missteps will be used as redirections. Even your mistakes will carry purpose. Because nothing is wasted in the life of the chosen. There's also a reason your energy has been protected lately. Why you've pulled back from certain people. Why you've grown quiet around certain spaces. That wasn't mood, it was divine separation. God needed to shield your spirit from distractions so that this Thursday could find you focused, so that this entrance wouldn't be delayed by noise, so that the sacred download you're receiving now wouldn't be lost in shallow company. Everything around you is about to accelerate, but not in chaos, in clarity, in clean, pure alignment. And with that alignment comes favor. People will begin to show up for you. Resources will begin to locate you. Conversations will lead to contracts. Thoughts will become reality. Why? Because this Thursday didn't just mark a new day. It marked a new dimension. In this dimension, you're not hustling. You're receiving, you're not chasing. You're attracting, you're not explaining. You're embodying. The old ways are over, and the world you're entering now responds to authenticity, to spiritual authority, to divine instructions. There's no more proving. You're not in the business of convincing anyone of your value. You are the evidence now. You carry the proof in your presence, in your peace, in your resilience. And the more you lean into that truth, the more God reveals what's next. This Thursday is not a surface-level blessing. It's foundational. It sets the tone for what the next season will look like. And this new season is not just about receiving. It's about reigning, about walking in your role, about fulfilling the purpose that was written for you before you were born. The enemy tried to make you forget that, tried to drown you in discouragement, tried to suffocate you in silence, but God preserved your breath, your awareness, your sensitivity. And now that it's Thursday, all of that protection turns into propulsion. Yes, you're being propelled, pushed into visibility, into purpose, into prepared spaces that had your name on them the entire time. You don't need to start from scratch. You don't need to beg for permission. You don't need to force your way in. The door is open. The table is set and your seat has been reserved. You'll notice that even your intuition feels sharper now. That's because this Thursday doesn't just affect your calendar. It upgrades your spiritual senses. You'll see clearer. You'll know quicker. You'll speak bolder. Because now God is not hiding you. He is highlighting you. People will wonder what happened, how everything changed so fast, but they won't understand the years of obedience, the silent pain, the quiet choices, the consistent surrender. But God saw it and He rewards it. This Thursday is that reward disguised as a new beginning, but filled with divine treasure. And you, chosen one, are the carrier of that treasure. The atmosphere around you has changed, even if the world hasn't caught on yet. The moment your spirit aligned with this Thursday, something in heaven shifted gears. What was once held back is now being handed over. And this isn't about delay turning into delivery, it's about destiny finding its divine cue. You're not waiting for something anymore. You're stepping into what already existed, now made visible by divine permission. There's something sacred about this timing. It's like everything is responding to a master key that just turned. You don't have to search for proof. You don't have to make noise about it. Those who are meant to see will see. Those who are meant to feel it will feel it. You've entered a divine appointment, and God has cleared the calendar for it. Every moment you experience today carries weight, meaning design. Nothing is accidental now. You're going to start noticing unusual clarity in what used to confuse you. Suddenly, what felt like endless fog is clearing. The next step that once felt hidden is now becoming obvious. You're seeing with eyes that weren't clouded by fear. You're hearing with a heart that's no longer bruised by disappointment. This is the result of divine timing meeting divine healing. The internal upgrade has already happened, and now it's expressing itself externally. Some will think you changed overnight. They won't understand that it was never about a sudden change, but a long, prepared unveiling. You've been evolving while no one noticed, becoming while no one clapped, healing while still bleeding. And now that unseen becoming is stepping into the light. Don't be surprised when people start reacting differently to you, when conversations take a new tone, when rooms that ignored you suddenly invite you in. It's not flattery, it's spiritual. Recognition. They may not know why they feel drawn to you, but heaven knows. You're carrying divine substance now, and people are sensing it before they can explain it. And in the middle of all this divine movement, you'll realize something powerful. You're no longer afraid of losing anything. That fear has been replaced with assurance. Not arrogance, not ego, but a quiet certainty that what God gives can't be taken, and what He reveals can't be denied. The waiting room you sat in has now become the launching pad. The prayers that once felt like echoes have become commands released into your timeline. This isn't about luck, it's about divine orchestration. This is what happens when purpose and timing collide. This Thursday is the first spark in a series of divine ignitions. Don't mistake the stillness for inactivity. In the background, things are catching fire in your favor. God is lighting the trail ahead. He's not asking you to see the whole map, only to walk the next step. Because every step now is anointed. Every move now is multiplied. Every decision now carries acceleration. Even your name is traveling in rooms you haven't walked into yet. There are decisions being made in your favor without your knowledge. There are people being positioned to bless you without ever meeting you. This is how heaven moves quietly, precisely, effectively. You're not chasing opportunities anymore. Opportunities are being drawn to the frequency you carry. And your frequency has changed. You don't even vibrate on the same level you used to. That's why some people can't reach you anymore, not because you're unreachable, but because you're no longer in that atmosphere. You've shifted and everything else is shifting with you. You may even find that your desires are changing. What you used to want doesn't excite you anymore. What used to satisfy you now feels shallow. That's not confusion. That's spiritual elevation. God is lifting you out of what was good so you can walk into what is divine. Don't resist the transformation. Let it do its work. Because what it's making you into is far greater than what you imagined. You've been chosen not just to witness miracles, but to become the proof of one. Your life is about to testify louder than your voice ever could. The best part, you don't need to explain anything. The results will speak. The evidence will walk with you. The favor will surround you. You'll no longer wonder if it's real. You'll wake up inside the reality of it. There is a financial shift wrapped inside this movement, too. God is not just moving your spirit. He's touching your resources. You'll feel the alignment in your finances. Things you couldn't afford before will suddenly become accessible. Bills that stressed you will be handled. Doors that were locked behind credit, status, or background will now swing open. Not because of your record, but because of your favor. This Thursday unlocked something economically. You might not see it yet in your bank account, but it's been released in the spirit. And when something is released in the spirit, it always shows up in the natural. Watch how resources start locating you. Watch how ideas become streams. Watch how unexpected checks, refunds, opportunities, and open doors begin to find you. It's not magic, it's movement, and the source is God. You'll also notice that some of the people around you won't understand what's happening. Don't be shaken by that. Not everyone can feel what you feel. Not everyone is wired to sense what the chosen are tuned into, but don't let their confusion interrupt your clarity. You don't need validation from the unaware. You're not crazy. You're called. This is the beauty of divine appointments. They don't need explanation, they need execution. All you have to do is walk forward. Every step is already blessed, every move is already confirmed. This isn't trial and error anymore, this is destiny in motion. Chosen one. You are not returning to who you were. You are not shrinking back into that version of yourself who used to doubt, delay, or settle. That version is gone. This Thursday pulled the curtain back on who you really are, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. The path ahead won't be without challenges, but now you don't face them with fear. You face them with fire, with divine authority, with knowing, with trust that what started in God cannot end in defeat. The presence over your life is not temporary, it is permanent, and now you walk with it fully, boldly, freely. This Thursday is not just a new chapter, it's a new covenant. It's heaven saying, "You're ready." And because God said it, you don't need to question it. Just watch what unfolds from here. There's a sound in the spirit realm, one that only the awakened can hear. And right now, chosen one, that sound has your name woven into its vibration. This isn't noise. This isn't static. This is the signal that a divine unveiling has begun. That the part of the journey which was once hidden, once veiled by delay and divine silence, is now in full activation. What's coming isn't just a change, it's a reveal, a lifting of the curtain over the life God promised you. You've waited while others seemed to move ahead. You've held your faith while progress felt distant. You've listened quietly while no doors opened, even when you knocked faithfully. But what you didn't realize is that this delay was not disqualification. It was divine preservation. Because now that it's time, everything is moving in harmony. The divine current has caught your name in its flow, and it is carrying you into rooms where your voice will echo, your presence will be honored, and your purpose will be fulfilled without resistance. This Thursday started what can only be described as a divine rollout. Every single move now is connected. You'll meet one person and they'll link you to a breakthrough. You'll have one conversation and it will unlock a strategy. You'll receive one message and it'll confirm something God whispered to you months ago. This is the kind of season where nothing is random and everything speaks. You'll begin to look back and realize the exact reasons why things had to fall apart when they did. Why certain people left without notice, why plans collapsed not once but multiple times. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. It was divine editing. God was removing pieces that didn't belong in this final scene so that your next entrance would be clean, complete, and impossible to block. There's a new power settling into your bones, a grounded strength, a solid fire. You don't feel like you used to. You're not tired like you used to be. You're not overwhelmed like you once were. That's not by accident. That's the residue of alignment. When you're no longer forcing your steps, your energy stops bleeding. That's what's happening now. You're no longer leaking power into the wrong places. Now it's focused. Now it's centered. Now it's divine. You'll see that even your emotions begin to cooperate with your calling. Your peace becomes louder. Your intuition becomes sharper. And your decisions will no longer be rooted in survival. They will be born out of vision because now survival is behind you. You've crossed the invisible bridge between surviving and thriving, between hoping and knowing, between waiting and walking. God is not sending you into this season empty-handed. He's equipping you not just with ideas and opportunities, but with clarity, with divine authority, with timing that cannot be tampered with. What's for you is not fragile. It doesn't depend on who supports you. It doesn't depend on who believes in you. It only depends on the word God spoke over your life. And that word is now becoming flesh. This Thursday marked the expiration date of uncertainty. It declared an end to spiritual fog and opened the windows of divine knowing. You know now. Even if you can't explain how you know, you feel it. You carry it. And that feeling is not fantasy. It's your inner world realigning with God's frequency. That alignment is the secret doorway into acceleration. You won't be shocked when things start moving fast. You've been prepared, quietly trained, sharpened in private. And now everything you've been built for is being drawn into your atmosphere. The people, the finances, the connections, the moments. You're stepping into spaces where your very existence confirms prophecy. You won't have to say much. Your presence will say everything. Even nature will begin to affirm you. The weather will seem to match your energy. The sky will feel clearer. The air will feel lighter. You'll notice songs with lyrics that describe your inner journey. These aren't random details, these are signs. Heaven is echoing your moment. The universe is harmonizing with your decision to walk in full awareness. And as you walk, something will start falling away from you. Fear. The kind of fear that used to slow you down. The kind that made you second guess your worth. That fear can't survive in the frequency you've just entered. It's not welcome here. This new spiritual atmosphere is too elevated, too pure, too focused. You're not carrying unnecessary weight into this dimension. That's why some of your plans didn't work. They would have burdened you now. That's why certain people walked away. They couldn't breathe in this altitude. Chosen one. You've just been reintroduced to your future. It may have felt delayed, but it never disappeared. It was held in suspension, preserved by grace. And now that it's here, it's coming in strong, sudden, sharp. Sure, it won't look like a miracle to others, but you'll know exactly how divine it is because you were there when nothing moved, when everything seemed silent, when only your faith kept your soul warm. This Thursday doesn't just mark a day, it begins a cycle of holy return. What you lost is coming back. What was withheld is being restored. What was promised is being presented, and it will happen with speed, but also with precision. God doesn't rush, but he moves with power when the moment is right. And now the moment is right. And with this right moment comes irreversible favor. Once it touches your life, it doesn't retreat. It rests, it roots itself. And it produces not just for you, but for everyone attached to your purpose. You are not just being blessed. You're becoming a blessing system, a spiritual distribution center. And what flows through you now will multiply beyond you. You'll see this in conversations you didn't expect. Someone will tell you how your words shifted them, how your energy lifted them, how just being around you gave them clarity. That's not coincidence, that's divine currency. God is using you to move. What needs to be moved? You're no longer the one reaching for help. You're becoming the anchor others need. There's one more thing about this moment. It will mark you. You will remember this Thursday. You'll look back and say, that's when it all changed. And not because of a dramatic miracle, but because you finally became the version of you that your future was waiting for. Everything around you has started responding to your arrival. Even the things you once thought were ignoring you. The atmosphere is no longer resisting you. It's receiving you. There's a permission that has been granted, and it's not from man, not from a system, not from a platform. It came from God, and when God permits something, nothing created can reverse it. This is why doors are beginning to open, not one by one, but as a wave. This is not isolated favor. It's a flood. There's something supernatural about this movement. You're not working harder. You're walking smarter. You're not explaining more. You're speaking less, but carrying more impact. What you release now holds weight, not because of your effort, but because of your alignment. This is divine economy. You sow in silence and you reap and overflow. You obey in obscurity and you shine in visibility. This Thursday cracked the shell that was once surrounding your next level. It wasn't protecting your breakthrough from the world. It was protecting you from accessing it prematurely. But now the seal is broken. The signal is green. The way is clear. The timing is right. You are no longer being blocked. You are being broadcast, not through marketing, not through campaigns, through God's spotlight. And when God highlights you, no shadow can hide you again. There's a fresh language forming in your spirit. You're no longer speaking from survival. You're declaring from victory. Your inner talk has changed. You don't speak from desperation. You speak from dominion. You don't hope weakly, you declare boldly. That's the upgrade. That's the elevation. And it didn't come from books or mentors, it came from encounter. It came from that private place where only God could affirm you. Now your energy introduces you before your words ever do. People will sense the change. Some will be drawn, some will be intimidated, some will disappear. That's fine. Let them. This energy you carry now has boundaries. It doesn't chase, it doesn't beg. It attracts, it anchors, it builds. And everything that cannot honor that will fall away without noise, without conflict. You're going to see some strange things in the days ahead. Emails that felt overdue will suddenly arrive. Calls you thought would never come will hit your phone. Ideas you shelved months ago will now come with urgency and funding. That's not luck. That's divine synchronization. Heaven is moving things into your line of sight, not to tempt you, but to deliver what was reserved. Even the atmosphere in your physical space will begin to change. It might feel like you want to rearrange furniture, clean more deeply, throw things out that you once kept. That's not just impulse, that's your external world catching up with your internal transformation. Don't resist it. You're not just refreshing your surroundings, you're making space for the new flow that has started. God is sending people to you who don't just like you. They see you. They recognize your anointing. They feel your presence. They respect your process. You don't need to perform for them. You don't need to impress them. These are divine partnerships, spirit-led connections, kingdom alignments. You've entered the season where the right people can finally reach you because your vibration no longer matches the wrong crowd. And this is only the beginning. Because what's coming next is not just for you, it's through you. You're becoming a carrier of breakthrough, an atmosphere changer, a solution bringer. When you step into a space, things shift. Not because of pride, but because of divine permission. You are moving in a current that was pre-written, pre-blessed, and now fully activated. God is preparing to hand you something that requires both your hands and your heart. This is not a surface level gift. It's sacred. It's weighty. It's generational. It's prophetic. That's why you've been tested so deeply. That's why you were kept in the quiet for so long. Because what you're about to carry needed pure hands, not just skillful ones. Clean intention, not just ambition, discernment, not just drive. You're ready now, and heaven knows it. That readiness is about to unlock things you thought were gone. Dead dreams, old ideas, unfinished visions, things you shelved thinking they were expired. But God never marked them canceled. He simply marked them not yet. And now he's rewriting the label to now. Expect divine reminders. Expect holy nudges. Expect strange flashes of memory tied to old goals. And expect new doors around them because the season has changed. And what once failed will now flourish. The old you wouldn't have known what to do with this. But the you that woke up after this Thursday, you're different. You're aligned. You're appointed. And you're being accelerated. You're going to start saying things like, I don't know how this happened so fast, and I can't believe this opened up for me, and that person just showed up out of nowhere. But it didn't happen out of nowhere. It came from above, from God's strategy, from the realm that doesn't run on your clock, but on your calling. And your calling has been activated, so walk now with a new boldness, a quiet power, a sacred trust. Don't be surprised when you lose interest in small things. You're being prepared for bigger.